Your CSO, Lando Calrissian, just walked through the door. So, are we able to find out how long it's taking for our opportunities to close? There are a number of different ways for us to answer this question, but the way that we think in this channel is how do we do it in Einstein? Days between. That's how we're gonna do it in Einstein. Now you can answer this question in a number of different places. You can do it in the Dataflow, you can do it in the dashboard step or the lens. But the biggest thing to take into account is where's the impact? If you do it on the dashboard or the lens, you're going to affect the actual time that it takes to execute the query and run on the dashboard itself every single time you're opening up the dashboard. If you do it on the Dataflow, you're affecting how long it takes for the Dataflow to run in order to build your data set that you're going to be using and eventually funneling into all of your dashboards. The big question is, what is the qualifying criteria for determining which of these methods to use? And it really boils down to how you're going to be using it. If, let's say, you're only going to be using it on one single dashboard, and it's just a one-off request, and Lando's like, look, I just need to know really quick because I've got a meeting coming up and I know that somebody's going to ask me for it. That's fine. If it's just going to be on one single lens or one single dashboard, then just do the design on the dashboard. No need to impact your actual data flow, and then you're done. And everybody will just be, woo! Good use of company resources and time, woo! They will celebrate you, and then we'll move on with our lives. But if that isn't the case, then the best place to put it is inside the data flow. Because once it's inside of the data flow, it's saved as a value inside of your data set. And once it's there, it can be referenced in any one of your dashboards moving forward. You can use it as a key performance indicator across the entire board. In this video, we're going to be looking at both of those different ways. Doing it in the dashboard or the lens, or doing it in the data flow. At the end of the day, we want to give Lando Calrissian the answers he's looking for. With that, let's go ahead and jump into SACL. Here's the syntax of days between. Date 1, date 2. Now the obvious thing here is that date 1 is your start date. The problem is that even though they are set up as date time inside of Salesforce, when they come into Einstein, they're not considered date time automatically. Einstein only processes your values as dimensions or measures. So because of that, we have to actually process the data that's being synced in from Salesforce first to specify that this is a date field. And there are two options to do it that we're going to cover in this video. Option 1 is to reference the epoch of the field in seconds. To do this, you will add _sec_epoch after the API name of the field. From there, we'll just convert this to a date field and we're good to go. Option 2 is to reference the year, month, and day field separately. And then, because these are all being referenced separately but being pulled in as strings, we're essentially building a date string manually using each of these references, and then from there, converting the full string value into a date. Now, at that point, all we have to do is put in our toDate function, and we are good to go. So with all of this information, we're just going to jump into a data flow. Now the data flow that you see in front of you is a simple data flow. We're looking at two nodes. One node for extracting data from the opportunity dataset and registering it into an opportunities dataset. What we're going to be doing is adding a compute expression node and creating our new computed field. Everything that we've already discussed applies here. The difference is that we are only going to need the meat of it. We don't need the for each, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to call this field days between op create and close. I want to make sure that this field is as obvious as possible to anybody who may be using it to build their reports in Einstein or to build dashboards in Einstein. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and pop in our SACL expression. Once our field is created, we just have to connect our new node to the rest of the data flow. Now, the only thing left to do is to hit that like button and the subscribe button. It helps us out, and it helps out our relationship with the YouTube algorithm so that I can keep making these videos. With that, we can create a report that has our newly minted field and answer Lando's question. As always, I want you to be chummy with your analytics. So, what I've done is I've taken all the JSON files for the activities that we did in this video, and I linked them down below in a repository for you to be able to access and learn from. I hope it helps.